Hello, and welcome back to the At-Home Educator Podcast. Hello, everyone. It is Brittany here, and today I have for you another very special episode of the At-Home Educator Podcast. Today we are sitting down with Megann Lock. Now, you may be thinking, who's Megann Lock and why am I supposed to be excited? Well, I don't blame you. She's a very humble person and she's not very public about the amazingness that she has helped create. So I will tell you a little bit about her before we dive into the interview. Megann Lock is the admin, or one of the admins, for the Google Slides VIPKid Facebook page. And I would also say she's kind of the OG original mind behind the whole Google Slides VIPKid world. A lot of you probably already use Google Slides and love them. I am one of those people. I use them often in my classes, and I use the Google Slides planner often, almost every day. But for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Google Slides, the VIPKid Facebook group, is just a way to access this giant bank of Google Slides presentations that you can use on your tablet or on your phone, or if you're a Manicam or a TwistCam user, you can use it on those as well. And it is basically digital rewards, digital props that just kind of simplify the class planning process. You don't have to print 1,000 things out and laminate them. It simplifies the reward process. You also don't have to print 1,000 things out and laminate them. You can just pull them up on whatever device you prefer to use. And honestly, what got me interested in interviewing Megann was that I joined the group myself, and I was surprised that it was completely free. You guys, this is a free resource, and it's amazing. It gives you props for almost every lesson notes for almost every lesson, rewards for almost every lesson, and almost anything you can think of. There's even things like Apex Legends, that new video game on there. So if you have a student who likes random things that you're like, I don't want to make a reward and print it out for this one student when I'm not going to have any other student who's going to want this, then Google Slides is for you. And it's just overall a great resource. So whether you are already a Google Slides user, or you are thinking about using Google Slides, or you've never heard of Google Slides before, I highly recommend that you keep listening and figure out a little bit more about it. Megann is a great person, and it was so fun to sit down and talk with her. She really loves what she does, and she's got a great team of people that she loves to talk about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the interview. Okay, everybody, I have Megann here. And Megann, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us who you are.
Yeah, I'm Megann Lock. I am a VIPKid teacher and teaching materials contributor, and I am an admin in the VIPKid Google Slides group on Facebook.
All right, great. So just for people who don't know, what is Google Slides? How would you describe it?
Oh man, that's a tough question, but I will do my best to answer. So Google Slides is basically just an online version of Microsoft PowerPoint. So you can add images and text and animations to just basically a digital file that can be stored not on your computer. I mean, you can store it on your computer, obviously, but you can access it anywhere that you're signed into your Google account. So on your mobile devices, on your tablets, on your computer, it's all stored on the cloud. And we use Google Slides in our Facebook group. We create reward systems, and we call them lesson props, but they're basically visual aids for all of the VIPKid lessons, pretty much all of them now. When we first started, our bank was pretty scarce, but we've built up our resources significantly in the past year or so.
Yeah, so did you start making your own Google Slides, and then
Yeah,
it kind of just grew, or how did it go? How did this whole thing get
it's
started?
such a cool story. So I started teaching with VIPKid in October of 2017. So I started making, I I'm not anymore, but I was a brick and mortar English teacher for 5 years. And so I used a lot of Google products in my classroom. Our district was, G Suite, all that kind of stuff. I don't really know the technical terms, but I was very familiar with Google Slides, and I used it a lot in my classroom just because you could collaborate online. That was the big draw for me, because I could give my students a Google slide and they could all work on it on the same time, or at the same time. So we I don't know, I was very familiar with Google Slides. So I started realizing, okay, why am I sitting here saving pictures of mammals and birds to my phone and having my camera roll full of random images? Why not just take all of those images and put them on a Google Slide? And I started doing that, I guess probably in November is when I really started organizing myself. So about a month into teaching, and I was only certified for upper level classes. So I just had a hard time finding props for, things like there's just some of those abstract things that you just can't really TPR or find a prop for. So I started making Google Slides, and I would title them with the lesson name. And I just did it for like most of my classes, and I was doing it on my own for about a month. But in December, I posted the link to my Google Drive folder that had all those in there. And it wasn't a whole lot. It was a significant amount. It was probably like, I don't know, maybe 100 files, not even anything super huge. But I explained the concept in my post, and I went to school. So I posted and I went to school because I was still teaching, and I didn't check my phone until my lunch break. And I was just astounded because there were so many people commenting on it. And, I posted it, I think it was in the teacher community, the unofficial one, VTC or VIPKid teacher community. And it's so like your posts kind of get lost there. So I wasn't expecting much of a response, but I got just an overwhelming amount of comments and things like that asking to collaborate. That's what my post was about. I said, hey, here's my link to my Google Drive folder. This is what I've been doing in my classes. Does anybody want to help me? And I would say in December, probably about 10 people who actually said they wanted to helped and helped me build what is now our resource bank. And basically, I guess in February or so, we were just collaborating on Google Drive. We weren't really doing anything official. And whoever had the folder link had the folder link, And so there was a woman who reached out to me and said, hey, I made a Facebook group for Google Slides, and you should come and post your link to your folder in this group. And feel free to let me know if you want to be an admin. Okay. So that was kind of how it all started. And then we actually parted ways with that the original group admin. But that the group that is on Facebook now is not the original group, but it's where most of our just big collaborations started happening. Our files have just grown crazy. We have about 8,000 files in our bank now. Less, just so much stuff. So yes, that's basically the backstory, the short version.
So you didn't initially make the first Facebook page?
No, I didn't, because it never crossed my mind, and I've never really been a person of I don't know, I just don't get on social media that much, and I do now because I have to, because I'm an admin in our group now. But yeah, no, I didn't originally start the first group. And when I joined the first group, the admin in that group, she kind of she wasn't very active. And I'm just a huge techie, and I love everything about technology and education, and I was that way at my brick and mortar. And so I just took it and ran with it, and I just loved all of the collaboration, and I liked seeing everybody's things that they would create. And what originally started for just lesson props and visual aids, it just became so much more than that, because now I kind of I stepped up, I guess you could say, because the admin and moderator team that we have now, those were all added by me. And I don't know, it's just it's wonderful.
Yeah, so it started from something very small, obviously, just
Yeah.
like you working in your own Google Drive.
Yes.
Did you like when did it hit you that this was going to be such a big thing? Because I see it everywhere now, like in
Yeah.
lesson notes and
Yeah.
everything. So,
Yeah, I know. It's weird. Man, I really don't know. I think the first time that I felt like, oh wow, this is making an impact, was this past summer. Like I guess in July, I got a call randomly from Kristen Fawaz, who is the admin of the VIPKid Texas group that I'm in, and she asked me to come talk at Journey, and I was like, yes, totally. That's weird. How did you get my phone number? Yeah, no, that kind of thing. But yeah, to me, honestly, at the end of the day, I um, I don't know. I still am in my own little world sometimes because I don't really get on the Facebook feed as much as I used to when I was heavily promoting our groups and stuff in other groups. And so I don't know. It's probably not dawned on me still that it's really big. But it is big. It totally is though.
yes, it is. It's
Yeah.
huge. And I feel like there are some people that still don't know about it. And it's, like I said before, it's a great resource. And so um, definitely worth it to,
Yeah, it is.
dip your toes in there.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you started the Google Slides page, your
Mhm.
new one, I guess, not the old
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
what was kind of like your mission that you set out to do?
I will totally share that with you because we have a very clearly defined mission. But our mission is just to provide a collaborative space for teachers to share free resources. That's all it is. We're not I mean, our culture in our group is super important, and we don't allow posts that are not related to Google Slides or related to technology in some kind of way. So I think our mission for our group is to make teachers' lives easier. And specifically in our group on the discussion feed, the mission is to help each other and save time, save money, engage students. Google Slides was what originally started is to make it a little more convenient for me to not have a bunch of images on my camera roll. Um, it's kind of morphed into this thing where I've noticed whenever I'm using Google Slides and things like that, my students are way more engaged, and it's easier for me to extend the lesson and things like that, because I have those resources right at my fingertips. And so um, yeah, our mission is to provide a collaborative space for teachers, but the mission for Google Slides themselves, to engage students. That's all it's about. It's about the students and it's about the teachers. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they definitely accomplished that mission.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Yes, still accomplishing
and
it.
so you mentioned that it was free, right? Which is great. It's a free
Yeah,
resource.
it is.
But it's obviously got to take up a lot of your time and the admin's time,
Yeah.
right? So, like, how many people are running the page now? How much time does it take to devote to all of this?
That's a great question. So Beth Pender was one of the first people that I added as an admin, and she is just she was super helpful and super passionate, like I am. And immediately we just clicked. And then I also added Sarah Strand. She's no longer an admin because she is super busy in real life, and so she had to step down. But those first three moderators were just so super important to helping get everything up and running. But we now have man 10, I think, but that's just the moderator team. So in the older group, it was we had about, let's see, me, Beth, Dyna, Amy, and Dot. So us five built the group up to the older group. We had about 8,000 people in it, and then we parted ways. Now we have 10 moderators because yeah, there's 10, and also, we have a team of, this is the most important thing. We have a team of about 20 editors that are amazing and hands down awesome and just completely donate their time for free. And they go through and like edit submissions and things like that because we want our resources to be high quality. And so all in all, about 35 people. Yeah. Yeah. Because we
So
could not do it alone. There's no way. I couldn't do it by myself.
yeah, definitely. Well, so those 35 people, between all of them, how much time do you think you devote like per week to everything?
I would say, okay, so I am mom of a beautiful, wonderful, crazy, hyper 3-year-old. And so during the day, I don't really get on my phone that much. I mean, sometimes because you can edit Google Slides and stuff on your phone and answer questions on the feed and stuff, but I'm not very active on the feed during the daytime, except during his nap time. But during his nap time is when I work on Google Slides. And I would have to say I probably devote a good, of just me, a good extra 10 hours a week. No lie,
Wow.
which is a lot, which is not, I don't think I'd say that for all of the moderators and editors, but, I mean, Beth probably spends way more time than I do. It all kind of varies. Um, because our editors, we have about 20 of them. So they are able to get on when they need to, and they know that, or when they want to, and they know that it's real life comes first, and that's always our first thing that we communicate. Anytime we add a new moderator, a new admin or something, we're always like, real life comes first, and if you need to check out for a week or a month, whatever, do whatever you want. But the cool thing is that we always decide on new moderators and admin and editors together, and so we like to keep our eyes out for people who are passionate and like we are, you know. So it's I don't know. It's hard to say. I spend about 10 weeks myself, but I don't know for others. I know Beth spends a lot of time. She has a personal goal for herself to have lesson props made for all the lessons. So, and she's done with, I think, level 1 and 2. So,
Yeah, she has a lot. I always see her name, Beth Pender, on the slides when I go in there. And I usually teach level 4, 5 students. So those
oh,
are the
you
higher
do?
level ones.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, so I think that a lot of people don't realize how expansive the Google Slides
mm,
kind of bank of things is. So for somebody who's not familiar with it, can you kind of give us an idea of what you can find on the Google Slides? Like,
yeah.
what does it offer?
Yeah, for sure. So, we used to house all of our resources on um, Google Drive, and we still do, because it's free to store them on your Google Drive. So we don't have to pay for anything. But the folders that we had them all in started acting really crazy because we had so many people accessing them. So what we ended up doing is taking all of the files, and they're links on a spreadsheet. Okay, that's basically how we house our resources. So when you go to our group and you join our group, you'll see kind of like a how-to guide in our announcements. And in that document, it's the only link in announcements, but in that document, you will find, or you'll be led to, it prompts you along the way to click a link, and it copies our resource bank. So you have your own document that auto updates, and it lists out all the resources that we have in our group. And on that document, you'll find lots of tabs at the bottom. On the tabs at the bottom, you can find different things. So there's a rewards tab, there's a props tab, there's a more resources tab. There's just a lot of stuff, but just basically we have props and rewards and lesson notes. And those lesson notes are actually done by teacher Stephanie Rivera. She's a mentor, a teacher mentor. And so they collaborate on Google Drive as well. And they long time ago agreed to link up together. And so I would probably refer to them as lesson scripts. They're really helpful for beginning teachers because it kind of tells you what exactly you should kind of say on each slide, which cuts down on that incidental language. But yeah, you'll find a tab that will show you a little bit more about the Google Slides Planner, which is a whole nother ballgame. That has some crazy features that are awesome. And when you're ready to look into it because it cuts down my prep time. I literally don't prep for classes. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't even prep for classes. And then there's also a tab for the website rewards. So like if you're a ManyCam or CamTwist user, you can pull up a website and share your screen and use that as a reward too.
So Google Slides also kind of serves as a way to kind of track your classes as
Yes.
well,
Yes.
because you can save the ones that you've used, correct?
Yes. Yes, you can. So it's like oh, I know it's kind of confusing because our group's name is, it has Google Slides in it, but a lot of the way that you access all of our resources and stuff is through Google Sheets, which is like a spreadsheet program, but online. And the planner is a spreadsheet. It's your own document, and you can paste your classes onto the planner, and basically will pull in all of the resources we have for that class, and it'll list it out beside your schedule. And then there are other tabs at the bottom as well, but it allows you to save your class record. It allows you to save the rewards you use for your students. It tracks the number of classes you had with them. You can put the student's picture in there. And I'm saving the best for last. It populates feedback templates too. And so the feedback templates are awesome. And they'll populate your student's name into the template and then give you a boy and a girl like option. So and you can then make edits to that populated template and then save that thing that you edited just right then and save it for next time, so that when you paste your schedule again and you have a recurring lesson, it will pull up what you edited last time. I mean, and you can do that for the feedback templates, and you can do it for your props and your rewards too. So that's what I meant earlier by I don't prep for classes, because I really don't. I have favorites saved for like pretty much all of the lessons that I teach. So it's been a very, very helpful tool. And it's overwhelming because you have to learn it first, because it's not super user friendly. I'll just be honest, it's a spreadsheet. So it's not super user friendly, but we've made it as user friendly as possible. And we do have some pretty cool things in the works in the future. Not really sure when, but we're trying to. I mean, we hear everybody's feedback, and we like to place importance on that. And we're trying to make our resource bank a lot more user friendly, but it's gonna take a little while.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I always say that the calendar is like a hidden gem because
Which
it
means, yeah.
has, or the planner, I guess. The planner
Oh, yeah,
is a
yeah,
hidden
yeah,
gem.
yeah. It is.
It has sincerely cut down my feedback time. It's cut it like in half, and it's super helpful, and it's free. So
Yeah, it's free.
if anybody's
And
not using that, they should try it.
and I have to make it just say really quickly, because the feedback templates, the bank that we started with, was done by or organized by teacher Lindsay. She was the creator of the Boy Girl way back when, I guess in 2017. I would always see that spreadsheet, her bank of templates posted. She shared with other teachers, and other teachers collaborated with her, and they built up a bank of feedback. And so when we started thinking about how to, diversify, right? Because we wanted our group to grow, and we needed to find a way to draw in more, members and things like that. So I approached Lindsay and I said, "Hey, what do you think about this? Could we start, our bank of feedback and use yours?" And she just, I was so nervous about asking her, but she was just so selfless and just very nice. She's like, "Of course, I'm all about free. Of course, let's do it." And so that's where our bank of feedback started from. And it is currently only available if you use the planner. But yeah, I just have to give a shout out to teacher Lindsay there, because she, our members contribute templates now, and we've built up pretty much feedback for all of the lessons. But it was something that helped us start, and it was super, super important that she was able to help us and able to just freely give her time and her work to us. So
Yes, and it's very helpful.
yes.
So we've been talking about how you've kind of linked these things along the way and people have
Yeah.
contributed, but how have you kind of grown your bank of slides and props and things like that. Can anybody contribute, or is it just the admins making things?
Right.
How does that work?
That's a good question. So we have almost 17,000 members in our group now. And when we first started our group and first started making resources, it was really only admin making it and posting. But we started making tutorials and templates and things like that, and getting the members, encouraging people to contribute. Over the course of a year, we've got about 8,000 files in there, and those were not done by only admin. So any teacher in our group can contribute. Any teacher in our group can submit. So a lot of groups have that open edit type field where you can just post a file to the files section, and it's kind of a free for all. Well, we decided when we first started making, promoting our group, that we wanted to all have that kind of high expectation for quality. And so all submitted files go through an editing process. And so we don't want a teacher to be in class and pull up something, on the fly to maybe extend with the student, and there be typos and not, naughty pictures or something. You just, we have to be careful. And so anybody can submit, and it will actually copy the file. So when they submit a file to us, it automatically creates a copy and puts it in our drive. And from there, the team of editors and admins and moderators will open up the files that are submitted, fix any typos or retitle anything that wasn't titled correctly, and make sure all the pictures are looking good and stuff, and high quality. That's the biggest thing. Most people are using them on their phones, so we have to make the text as big as possible and things like that. So admin probably are the most Google Slides crazy people. So you'll see our names on a lot of stuff, but there's no way in heck we would have been able to get our resources to the number that it is now without all of the contributors. I think last time I counted, there were about 500 active contributors to the banks too. So 500 to 17,000. So
Wow.
yeah,
So a lot of people.
lots of people. I think that's a lot to me. 500.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah.
So with all of these people contributing, and with VIPKid changing so much, they're changing
Yeah.
lessons, they're changing their layout. How do you guys deal with that? How do you guys deal with the changes that VIPKid makes?
Yeah, that's a tough one because sometimes we get a heads up. We have some friends in high places, but sometimes we don't. And so we gotta roll with the punches sometimes. The planner only works based on the portal's format. So back in February and early March, when the portal was undergoing changes, that was a little bit hectic. But as adjusting the way that the schedule pasted and things like that. But as for the lesson prop slides, like the content not matching, that's something that admin typically will do. What we'll do is we'll go in and update our slides for that lesson. So when someone is reporting like, oh, hey, this doesn't match this, we always ask members to post it to the Facebook feed and tag an admin, and we'll go in and make changes pretty much as quickly as we can. And especially when there's like a whole level or whole unit overhaul, VIPKid will usually post the lesson slides for all the teachers to review. And so what we'll do is we go in and do it right then and there before that material disappears, So it's just a group effort. We made the planner, the last update, basically it'll list the most recently edited one in the first column. Now, it depends on what edits were made exactly, maybe, but yeah, hopefully we're keeping up. We do as best we can.
Well, it seems like you do a good job.
No,
So,
thanks.
does VIPKid approve of Google Slides? Do you have some kind of connection with them? Do they know of you?
Well, I am on the TMC team, so I am the teaching materials contributor. So I create a lot of the infographics and things like that you'll see in the library tab and the certifications tab. So I would have to say that they are all for anything that is going to engage the student and support the lesson objectives. So for me in my class, I always use, well, I can't say always because, sometimes you just got to pull out a Hello Kitty to get the kid to come back to the screen. I teach a lot of trials. And so I will typically use with my regulars, I will typically use something that is specific to the lesson and is going to get them talking and using that lesson vocabulary and sentence patterns more. And I only get positive feedback from parents, but everybody is different, including the parents. So you can't please everyone. As far as VIPKid officially approving, I don't know. I can't say, but I do know that I've felt nothing but support from people in the California office and um, even people from the headquarters that I work with the TMC team, so they're based in Beijing. So yeah, I think they are supportive of anything that's going to um, get the students talking more.
Yeah, and you had an opportunity to speak at Journey, right?
Yes, they did. Yeah,
So
and
what
that was
did they have you speak about
Google
at
Slides.
Journey?
I talked about Google Slides. And I presented with Danielle McBrayer and Sarah Wells about some of the tech tools that are available for VIPKid teachers. And those sessions were organized by, I don't know the specific department, but they're definitely approved by someone in headquarters, I'm sure. So I think they're supportive of Google Slides and supportive of teachers who are wanting to do more, to connect and engage with their students. So
Well, I think it helps that people know that you have the support of VIPKid because, like you said, it can be overwhelming and it's very different from what they teach you when you do your interview. So people might be a little bit hesitant, but
it is.
it sounds like it's got the
Yeah, it
thumbs
is
up.
scary. It's scary because when I first started, I did the paper. Oh, and don't get me wrong, guys. I use so many 3D props. I use so many 3D props. I have props for all sorts of things. Um, I think it's good to have a mix and be open to change and open to learning something new because I think the best teachers are lifelong learners, and that's something I'm challenging myself to do every day is to learn something new, go a little bit beyond what I know I can do, and it's definitely different from the interview process and kind of that prescribed way of doing your mock, and that's okay. I think it's okay, you know. I think the best
Yeah.
teachers are going to be the ones that are going above and beyond, and Google Slides allows you to do that, So I think we definitely have support for sure.
Yes, and I
And don't
agree.
be
I
scared.
agree with that.
Yeah.
So if I were a new teacher and I was a little bit hesitant to start with Google Slides just because it seems very techy and overwhelming at first glance, what advice would you give me?
Take small, tiny baby steps. That's what I would say. I mean, if you're comfortable with your printer, then print Google Slides. You know, that's what I tell a lot of our members, and I'll jump on Zoom calls, not all the time, when I have time. If someone has reached out to me and like asked for help, like, hey, help me, I don't get it. I'll try to set something up, and I'll usually just Zoom with the person, and I'm just honest with them. I say, look, if you know how to work a printer, let me show you how to print these, or if you know how to pull up your browser on your device, let me show you how to get these on your device. But that's my advice, is just to take baby steps. The resource bank is overwhelming and huge now, but it doesn't need to be overwhelming. Just take a little tiny baby steps.
So how does somebody join the community for Google Slides?
So essentially, we are collaborating on Facebook. So if you're not on Facebook, that's okay, because I'm going to PM Brittany a link that you can gain access to all of our resources, even if you're not on Facebook. But if you have a Facebook account, you would just type in your search bar on Facebook, VIPKid Google Slides, and it will pop up as a group option. And when you click on the link for the name of the group, it'll take you to the group. and you just would click join group, and there are some preliminary questions asked to join, and the questions are based on our group rules. So if you're on your desktop or you're on your mobile device, it'll vary where you'll be able to see those, but it asks some questions that help us curb that, "Hi, I just joined, what do I do?" post, because that's the reason we have those questions on there to join. And then you also need your VIPKid teacher link, your referral link. And so you just answer a couple of questions, and if you don't get added within about 5 hours or so, then it may be that your questions were wrong or your answers were wrong. So just send another request in, or you can reach out to, like an admin or moderator. They list our names in the about section of the group, and you can message one of us.
And then once you join the Google Slides group, what would be the first things that you recommend somebody doing?
That's a good follow-up question, Brittany, because it is actually one of the questions for the join. So listen carefully. So when you are approved as a member in our group, all of our resources, all of our tutorials, the link to our entire resource bank, and so much more is all housed in one document. So it's kind of like an all-in-one Google Slides Bible or handbook or something. We call it the slide guide, and it is an amazing little tool because it can answer a lot of your questions. So when you first join our group, we recommend you just navigating to the announcements section. It should be the first post that you see in our group, and we will always only have one link in that group, or in that post in announcements, and the link in that announcements will take you to the slide guide. And when you open it up, it will it has little prompts and things like that, a table of contents. So if you already know how to use Google Slides on your phone, or you need help with something else, you can just click and it'll jump you right to that question, essentially. Yeah.
Great. Well,
so open up the slide guide. That's what I would do.
So open the slide guide when you join.
Sure.
Well, I think that's all I have for you. Yeah, are there any other tidbits of information that you'd like to share with us?
Learn something new today.
Okay, advice. Learn something new. And if you don't know Google Slides, you can learn that, and then that's your something new.
That is something new, yes, and we'll help you learn it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. I really enjoyed talking with you, and I'm a huge fan of Google Slides. I'm a religious user now, so... All right, guys, and there you have it. That's my interview with Megann. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed doing it. It was so interesting to hear, the story behind how it all got started, and, the whole fact that Megann had no idea how big it was going to get. I was really surprised hearing how small it started and how big it is now. I see it everywhere. So I will leave links to all of the people that we mentioned in today's podcast in the description below, as well as a link to the Facebook page, or like Megann mentioned in our interview, a link if you don't have Facebook to how you can join the group. As always, also let me know what you thought about today. Do you use Google Slides? How do you use it? What's your favorite Google Slides reward? What's your favorite Google Slides prop? You can send me a DM on Instagram. You can email me. You can go onto the website and post it in our forum, or any other way you can get a hold of me. As always, I will leave those links in the description as well. And don't forget that the At Home Educator podcast now has a Facebook group. So make sure you go join so you can stay updated on the community, updated on all the new episodes, and stay in the loop. It was great talking with you guys again today, and thank you, Megann, for interviewing with me. It was great to meet you, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.